The 20th session of the Human Rights Council took place in Geneva from 18 June to 6 July 2012. Over the course of the 3-week session, the 47-member body heard from 18 independent human rights experts, held panel discussions, and adopted 22 resolutions on a host of issues. One of the issues continuing to take center stage at the Council was the situation in Syria, which was addressed at various stages throughout the session, including on its opening day by High Commissioner for Human Rights, Navi Pillay.
The situation in Syria continues to deteriorate, and the suffering of civilians has increased significantly. The escalating violence has limited the ability of the UN supervision mission in Syria to carry out its mandate, and as a result, UNSMIS had to suspend its operation on 15th June. This suspension comes while innocent civilians are being killed every day.
Also addressing the session was the Deputy Joint Special Envoy for the UN and League of Arab States, Jean-Marie Guénaud.
Time is running out. Syria is spiraling into deeper and more destructive violence. The people of Syria desperately need the international community to come together now and exercise its full influence before it is too late.
As mandated by the Council at a special session just weeks before its regular 20th session, the Commission of Inquiry set up by the Council last August was asked to report on the El Hula incident of 25 May. Commission Chairman Paulo Pinheiro.
The manner in which these killings took place resembles those previously and repeatedly documented to having been committed by the government forces. While the Commission could not rule out the possibility of anti-government fighters being responsible for the killing, this was considered very much unlikely.
The session also provided an opportunity for participants to hear from several independent experts who presented their reports, which yielded rich discussions. Of those were the Special Rapporteurs on Freedom of Expression and on Extrajudicial Killings, who addressed the issue of the killing of journalists. Special Rapporteur on Extrajudicial Killings, Christoph Hein.
In view of the pivotal societal role of journalists, the too numerous instances of killing of journalists by state and non-state actors, as well as the intimidation of other members of society into self-censorship, is unacceptable. 2/3 of the deaths of journalists occur outside armed conflict. Most of the journalists killed covered issues related to war, politics, corruption, crime, and human rights.
Other experts presenting at the session were those covering the right to health, education, peaceful assembly, human rights and counterterrorism, extreme poverty, the rights of migrants, cultural rights, trafficking in persons, the independence of judges, violence against women, and on the human rights situations in Haiti and in the occupied Palestinian territory. Addressing the Council at the onset of this session, High Commissioner for Human Rights Navi Pillay updated participants on recent activities of her office, highlighting both emerging and protracted crises.
Since the military coup in Mali, the security and human rights situation have significantly deteriorated in the whole Sahel region. Human rights abuses and the disruption of basic services in the north of Mali have led to massive displacement towards the south and neighboring countries, exacerbating the severe humanitarian crisis in Mali, Burkina Faso, Chad, Mauritania, and Niger is a matter of deep concern. Credible sources indicate that violations of human rights include arbitrary detention, torture, summary executions, forced labor, forced conscriptions, and restrictions to freedoms of movement, expression, assembly, and religion. There are an estimated 5,000 to 10,000 political prisoners.
The Council also held its annual full-day discussion on women's human rights, focusing on women human rights defenders and remedies and reparations for women who have been subjected to violence. At the conclusion of the session, the Council adopted 23 texts on a wide range of issues, including appointing a special rapporteur on the human rights situations in Belarus and in the East African state of Eritrea. The Council also decided to extend mandates of the independent experts on Côte d'Ivoire and on Somalia. Other country situations addressed through adopted resolutions pertain to the situation in Mali, particularly drawing attention to human rights violations in the north of the country, and in Syria, through which the Council once again strongly condemned the widespread, systematic, and gross violations of human rights persisting in the country. A resolution was also passed to draw attention to the plight of victims of human trafficking around the globe, especially women and children, a scourge which affects some 160 countries. At the close of the session, Council President Laura Dupuy-Lasserre also announced the appointment of the independent expert on human rights in the environment and members of the fact-finding mission set up at the previous Council session to investigate implications of Israeli settlements in the occupied Palestinian territory.